Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, I hope you're doing well. Today I thought we'd have a little look at an article from Car Dealer magazine. Again, all these articles that catch my attention, I tend to think, I think my viewers would like to see this, so why shouldn't I make a video? I quite enjoy making these kind of top 10 list videos, so let me know if you're enjoying them. And today's is the most scrapped cars of 2023. And it's interesting to see that that number has actually drastically dropped compared to 2022. About 60,000 less cars were scrapped. Interesting to think that perhaps they've been saved. People are saving their money. Less cars are being sent to the scrapyard in lieu of buying new ones. They're actually trying to keep those cars alive because everyone's feeling the pinch a little bit when it comes to money at the moment. So let's hop into it and we'll have a little talk through as we go through. It does tell us straight off the bat that the Ford Focus is the most scrapped car. I guess it is a very popular car, probably mainly all suffered from rust, to be honest. If we get into the article from James Baggett, who is the founder of the Car Dealer magazine, says a Freedom of Information request has found that a staggering 798,363 used cars met their maker this year and were scrapped for good. The data looked at figures from January to the end of October and were compiled by Autocar. The publication said that there was a vast drop in numbers scrapped compared to 2022, when 857,107 vehicles were removed from the roads in the same period. 42,637 Ford Focus models were scrapped, making it the most crushed car of the year. The Vauxhall Astra was in second place with 35,578 models scrapped, and the Vauxhall Corsa third with 34,405 disappearing for good. It's unsurprising, they're really popular cars, aren't they? All three of those, they're probably three of the most popular cars on the road. But it's pretty amazing to hear about how many are actually scrapped. Makes you think about how many cars are actually on the road, which I don't have the figures for. Maybe I should Google that now. How many cars in Britain? Oh, well, just 33.48 million. So actually makes those scrapped car figures sound like nothing. I guess it also makes sense that it's cheaper, smaller, run-around cars that are getting scrapped, family cars, you know, there's no sense spending a lot of money on fixing them up because the value is probably not in them, so you may as well just get rid of them and buy yourself another cheap car. It's what we tend to say to people a lot of times when they bring a car in for an MOT and it fails on 101 things, and you say you could fix that for £2,000, but your car's only worth £1,000, so why not go and buy another one that's got 12 months MOT on it if, you know, you want to save money and just run around in something. Don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily advocating that always, because sometimes it is better the devil you know, but you can understand why some people would choose to just scrap their car, get it out of their life and move on to something else. Maybe decide to get themselves a more expensive, nicer car. The figures show that nearly 80,000 cars are scrapped every month. Meanwhile, more than twice as many new cars and light commercial vehicles were registered during the same period at 1.889758 million. So that 1,889,758. Don't know why that felt so hard to say the first time around. Autocar editor Mark Tishaw said, "It is telling that nearly 60,000 fewer cars and vans were scrapped in 2023 than during the same period in 2022. The rising cost of living is likely to be a factor, prompting motorists to hold on to their vehicles for longer, a situation not helped by uncertainty among consumers over making the switch to electric." To be fair, if there was ever a reason to not scrap your old car, it's probably because you're being strong-armed into an electric vehicle instead. When a car has reached the end of its life, it must be scrapped at an authorised facility, says the government. The government says when your vehicle has reached the end of its usefulness, you must get it scrapped by an authorised treatment facility, in brackets ATF. These are sometimes known as scrapyard or breaker's yard. The process is different if your car has an insurance write-off. The company will pay you what they think the car is worth and will then deal with scrapping it for you. You will need to send the logbook to the insurance company and tell the DVLA the car has been written off though. You can be fined £1,000 if you do not tell the DVLA. I know when you actually do take a car to the scrapyard, because I've taken plenty in my time, that they do fill out a kind of scrapped form and they give you a copy. So they'll take the V5, whether they haven't got the V5 or not, they can still do it. But basically it registers that car as scrapped. So someone couldn't come along and be like, oh, can I have that car for 50 quid? And then get a dodgy MOT on it, for example, and end up on the road again. If you're taking that car to be scrapped, you've sold it as a car for scrap and a scrap dealer takes it from you, they can't put that back on the road. You know, that is illegal, basically. It should be off the road. That is it done. You shouldn't ever see that car again. You shouldn't see the number plate, any of that sort of stuff. It needs to be registered as scrapped and off the road. And that is exactly what you'll see on your history check sometimes. Which conveniently brings me on today's video sponsor, which is vehiclescore.co.uk. You've probably heard me talk about VehicleScore 100 times. They are an awesome website for doing a general free vehicle check if you are looking to buy a car or on a car that you already own. If you head to vehiclescore.co.uk, you can enter your registration. I'm going to put in Toby's registration, which is Echo Alpha 112 Papa Zulu Golf, I think. He's giving me a nod. And his car scores 459 out of 999, making it pretty average. There's probably going to be a few reasons for that. Age, mileage, things that you can't really avoid. But it does explain all this in here. We can get onto our scoring sites. It tells us the things that are looking good, the things that are looking bad. It will also tell us how many times this car's been looked at in the last few days. You can tell if lots of other people are looking at it. You can come down to the basic vehicle details. Well, it's now highlighted in green, tax status and MOT status. It is taxed, it does have an MOT, and it even tells us how long, suggestion of mine that was, just to say, make it very easy to look in one place. You can do the MOT history check, you can do a mileage checker, you can do an MOT history check. I really like the mileage tracker as well, so you can make sure that mileage is always going up or at least staying the same and it's not dipping down, showing that it might have had a change of clocks or been clocked. A very handy thing to have. There's absolutely tons of features on there, from a future value estimator to things you should look out for. And this feature as well here, which is another suggestion of mine, can you put a banner at the bottom that would display your score if you're selling your car, let people know it's a really good car and they can look it up on the website, all under this free check. And if you can hand over your hard-earned cash to buy a new car, perhaps after you've scrapped your other one, I always highly recommend you need to do a vehicle history check, and Vehicle Score have got you covered. You can either do their Salvage Plus report for £2.97. That will tell you whether your car has been sold to a scrapyard before. Right there, scrap check, keeper check, import check, stolen check, salvage check, ex-taxi check, ex-police checks, all those sorts of things for just £2.97. They do their ultimate report for £8.97, which will check whether it's been an insurance write-off, whether it's been seen at salvage auctions, all those sorts of things. And for ultimate peace of mind, you can do their ultimate report, which is insured, gives you £10,000 worth of Experian data cover. So should there be any discrepancies on that check that later turn out to be something wrong with your car, you will have some backup giving you peace of mind. That's just £9.97. And if you do one of these checks, make sure you input my code SHIFTINGMETAL20. It's going to give you 20% off, making that £9.97 check just £7.98. Quick maths, that is £1.99 off. Absolutely well worth having. Chuck that in there and it could save you a lot of money, because a lot of cars out there have got a hidden history. Right, so let's see what other cars are in our top 10 list. So we already know Ford Focus topped the list with 42,637 scrapped. Vauxhall Astra was in second with 35,578. The Vauxhall Corsa in third with 34,405. In at number 4 is the Ford Fiesta with 32,935. No surprise really to see that there, because again, another amazingly popular car. Number 5 is the Volkswagen Golf with 25,903. Number 6 is the Vauxhall Zafira, thank God. 16,895 of those absolute abominations have gone to the scrapyard. Number 7 is the Renault Clio with 15,955. Again, another budget, kind of mass-produced, very popular car. So no surprise to see that in a list of top 10 of anything car-related, really. Number 8 is the Ford Mondeo, 14,218. I imagine most of those were rust-related. You've probably seen some very rusty Mondeos on this channel before. In fact, I might have been one of those numbers. I scrapped one earlier this year, a very old one. So we probably helped with some of these figures. We got into the top 10. I don't know if any other car I scrapped got into the top 10, to be honest. That number for the Ford Mondeos, obviously just going to keep going down now because they no longer make them. In at number 9 is the Volkswagen Polo, 13,722 of those. Again, another super popular car. And at number 10, I'm surprised it's not more. I suppose this is where popularity versus value gets balanced out when it comes to scrapping cars, because it is the BMW 3 Series, of which 13,642 were scrapped in 2023. They're one of the most popular cars on the road. At one point, they were the most sold car, so you'd expect to see more of them, but they are a BMW 3 Series. They're rear-wheel drive. People like to keep them for drifting, track cars, and want to keep them alive because they think it's a premium car and it's nice to have. So I guess more of those get saved than those budget hatchbacks that we were looking at before. So there we have it, just a very quick video kind of talking about an interesting article that I saw, basically. Let me know your thoughts. Have you scrapped a car this year? Have you scrapped lots of cars this year? Are you surprised by the cars that are in the top 10? What isn't in the top 10 that you thought should have been, really? I probably would have expected to see a lot more Renaults, but who knows? As always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, so drop me a comment, leave the video a like. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed already, then please do that. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you can follow me there. And don't forget to check out my website, shiftingmetal.co.uk. You can find all my discount codes there, including Vehicle Score, and some of my merchandise should you want an air freshener or a t-shirt. We have got you covered. And if you're looking to sell your car the hassle-free way, then head to my website, carsboughtformore.com, enter your information, we'll give you an instant valuation. If you accept, we can collect the car from you and make it a hassle-free transaction. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.